The budget does speak about it. It's not just speaking about greening ourselves. It's not speaking about transitioning into from fossil fuel to renewable. It's also talking about waste management. How you treat your liquid wastage. How do you really get to the stages of cleaning that up so that that doesn't add to pollution of a different sort, but yet pollution.
You've said a lot about green. What realistically can we do to help and try to convince industry to adopt more renewable energy in their manufacturing? First question. Second question was around anything you'd like to say on disinvestment. That was one thing that we thought we haven't heard much about. And the last question might not be related to the budget, but is there, what would your message be to the RBI and the MPC now? Given that foreign...
Just 1 minute, huh? If you permit me, because Anant is a friend and after all we've had kind of exchange. He represents a very powerful pillar of the democracy, so it doesn't matter if we have a little, banter with him.
Globally, we're seeing some hints of tapering of interest rate hikes.
None of you all asked me that. It takes a journalist and a businessman to do it.
I hope it's a compliment.
Yeah, it is. And I will answer it also. Don't worry. I will answer it also, but I thought I should. Please go on.
That's all I have to say. That's all.
The concern that you've expressed about green, I fully appreciate it. There was a time when we thought very landlocked kind of cities and towns are the ones which suffer from very severe air pollution and so on. I take the example of Delhi, which is unfortunately severely affected, and also very many solutions are being discussed. But we've not seen considerable progress. And there was also this feeling from people like me who come from states which have coastlines, and therefore Mumbai, that the sea does the good cleaning job for us every day, so by the evening you get fresh air and so on. But this time Mumbai has suffered, despite the sea and so on. So I think to answer the question, the budget does speak about it. It's not just speaking about greening ourselves. It's not speaking about transitioning into from fossil fuel to renewable. It's also talking about waste management. How you treat your liquid wastage. How do you really get to the stages of cleaning that up so that that doesn't add to pollution of a different sort, but yet pollution. Dry waste, humongous waste in metropolitan cities where our population is such that there's a disproportionate planning for managing dry waste also. You end up having huge piles of dumps, which themselves generate certain gaseous air, which affect us. So urban planning, and I must, give a word of compliment also for the ministry. When it comes to the question of state borrowing limits, on which the center has a right to broadly direct it, borrowing has been to a minuscule extent linked with performance in reform, inclusive of urban planning, waste management, and so on, so many other components. Some states are very good in responding, saying, this is an opportunity for us to clean up and give better air, give a better environment, and so on. But many others don't respond. I don't attribute any malafide, but sometimes they're rather slow in responding to it. They think it's big burden on them. We are not allowing them to freely borrow and so on. But these are ways in which we are trying to incentivize both treatment of waste, better urban planning, and also making sure that effluent treatment plants are encouraged. Even if they are common effluent treatment plants, please do it. But do it because they bring a big difference. And I can tell you with my personal experience, as Commerce Minister, I had taken a bit of an initiative, not so much it was my terrain at that time, but because people accessed me and I was speaking to Niti Aayog. You would have heard of a town called Erode, which also comes in the same belt which produces textile, floor mats, upholstery, and so on. And they also were deeply into dyeing of clothes. And that area has a beautiful river called Bhavani. Bhavani river's water used to be like crystal, sweet crystal, very sweet. I remember my childhood, Bhavani water used to be, you can see it clean. And if you take it in your hand and drink it, without fear, you can have a good sip of good water. Today, Bhavani, not today, years ago, decades ago, Bhavani was like, the ink that you fill in your pens. That physically you can see tangibly polluted, and of course you don't need to drink it at all. Smell it, you're done for the day. You would have had 400 cigarette smoked. That polluted area, it was purely because of all these dyeing units pouring their effluents into the river saying it'll go away. But I was happy the industries there together came up and said, we want to have a updated, they had some effluent treatment plants, but they came together, and luckily at that time we were very quickly able to ramp up some funds and give them something like 250 crores or something. Don't pin me down on this number, but approximately something of that kind. Today I'm glad to say the same industry set of cluster people come and telling me, water relief. It supplies usable water to their households after this. And completely the third level of recycled water is what actually goes very far away somewhere to be disposed of. The city feels very happy because it now has more water for gardening, cleaning, and other things, without the river being affected so badly. And the river has actually revived itself post this. There are so many things which you can come up with solutions. The formulations and policies exist. The moment you come together and say, look, we think this will make a difference, we are here to come and help you. So I would, suggest, Anant, given your position as a leader of business and media, you should mobilize Mumbaikars, and I'm saying this with my Deputy Chief Minister here, former Chief Minister of Maharashtra here, and I'm sure we'll seek their cooperation as well. You mobilize and form clusters for waste treatment. I'm sure the state government will be quite happy to formulate and forward it to the center. And although I'm not from Maharashtra, I respect the state for very many things, inclusive of its literature, language, the dedication it has for music, the various fantastic cultural centers. Maharashtra deserves a lot more. And I'm sure Chief Minister, former Chief Minister, Deputy Chief Minister will forward your, clustered requests. And purely because of my admiration for the state, I'm not an MP from here, I'm not a whatever from here. There are stalwarts from this state, I respect all of them. But still, I'll do my little bit to make sure this is moved faster. Mumbai deserves to have better climate.